Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening? Today we're going to talk about diversity visa. Okay, you might wonder, what the heck is diversity visa? Should I think about it? Should I get involved with this thing? Yes, you should, but it depends on your situation right now. Some of y'all don't need it at all. All right, friends, welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting, and I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe preventing it from happening in the first place. All right, thank you so much. You're welcome to drop a question in the comment section, chat box, or even share your experience. I'd love to, answer the best I can. And even we have clients that share their positive or negative experience with USCIS, the State Department. We're happy to hear about it because I'm all about feedback and also how we can improve our services. We don't hide. We're here to answer the situation for you. I haven't been on IG in a long time. So what's going on? How y'all doing on Instagram? To be honest, it just took a lot to keep track of all these devices and platforms. So I'm back on Instagram. So I'll share a little bit about diversity visa, and let me share my screen on YouTube and Facebook. I can do that. It's one time a year, similar in a sense to the H-1B work visa registration. It's only one time a year. All right. So if you're on YouTube, you can see this. Now, who is this for? This is generally for people, typically it's for people who are outside the United States, but you can be in the US to register for diversity visa. However, keep in mind that, because some people ask and let me know, oh, like I registered for it, and I got selected, but I'm here, I overstayed in the United States, then you're out of luck. Okay. You need to pick up the visa, have the interview abroad outside the United States. So when that happens, if you consider leaving and you overstay your visa, you're going to be subject to the unlawful presence bar. So there's an example when you need to speak with an attorney to make sure that you are, even if it's a good idea to even leave, there's no penalty or anything like that for registering for a diversity visa. But ultimately, that's one of the reasons, like how our framework in terms of having client meetings, strategy sessions with new people who are considering to hire our team. Thank you so much. But we think about the big picture. Can you even get the resident status, green card, legal status at all in the first place? Because if not, then what's the point of even doing certain steps? Okay. But again, not trying to discourage anyone from registering for diversity visa, but it's very important you understand the situation. So sharing right now, if you're on Facebook and YouTube, the State Department's webpage on diversity visa. You can see here in the middle, sorry, it's a little small. Let me see if I can increase the size. The entry period for this program, it actually ends today. Yeah, today. So good thing I'm talking about today. Sorry, it was meant to be for yesterday on a live show, but I couldn't make it. Had to take my kid out for lunch unexpectedly. I'm sure y'all been there before. So today's the last day. Okay, if you're considering this, it opened up October 4th until today. For people who registered, anyway, they look at it at about a couple years out, because you can see here, who can check for status check for people for DV 2025. Okay, there you can start checking in May 4th, 2024. So it's kind of strange how it works in terms of the years. It has to do with the fiscal year limitation. So they just, even though they put 20, like here on the right side, 2024 entrant status check, You have until September 30th, 2024 to check the status. So, okay, but there's a couple websites here. We'll drop it in the comment section, at least on YouTube and Facebook, so you can have access to this. Now, if y'all ask, like, does Ting Law Group help with this? We don't. It's not one of those what we call case types for us, but we like to share information. So ultimately, you can get your status. Yeah, I do read the comments. It's just not going to respond to it right now. I will read the comments. Give me some time. So I do read the comments. I will answer your questions, but I can't answer everyone. Just know that, because there's a lot of questions. I appreciate your trust for me to answer your questions, but we have the topic of the day. I didn't put it on IG, but just try and go with it, okay? What we'd usually do, if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. As I go through a topic of the day or question, which usually is 5-10 minutes, and then I go to the questions, okay? So please know I have 3 different platforms. So it's completely random. I just whatever interests me first, since I'm the one that runs the show. Okay, so here we go. All right. Welcome to the show, and appreciate the follow and your respective platforms. Sorry, I just don't have the best. You're gonna see my hand here on Instagram. Let's see here. If I don't answer your question, by the way, I apologize in advance. The best thing to do, or if I don't answer your question as in-depth as you prefer, I'm sorry. You're going to have to set up a consultation, a strategy session. And we actually offer it for free, no cost to you, for 15 minutes. Now, if you do want more time, we do offer a paid consultation. But look, we're pretty efficient, I believe. So if you have certain questions that you want to make sure to ask, let our cares team specialists know, as our team members who will call you back to ask some questions to make sure you're qualified. Okay, for a free strategy session. All right, Gigi, how long is VAWA case taking? Can it be expedited? Expedite situation depends on the situation. Like, we just helped. Not going to go into politics and the human rights situation, but we just helped an Israeli client, a person from Israel, to get expedited the advanced parole, and it worked because he does have to report back to duty. So that's as much as I can say, but it is possible, but for not the entire case. All right, I haven't heard that, because even 485, they don't allow expedited for that. Unfortunately, that would be great. So, but if your case has been pending a long time, what we call unreasonable amount of time, you wouldn't know, right? What is unreasonable by the law? There's no set definition. Number one, because it just depends on the case type and the situation. But give us a call. Let us know, okay? What you applied for, how long you've been waiting since filing, and then we can give you a better idea. Okay, let me switch over to Instagram. Okay. All right, Mina, right? Mina, and sorry, I skip around, not on purpose. I try to answer everyone. Mina, you said you got a 797. So all notices from the government on the top left or right is going to say 797. So you have to tell me specifically what actually you got to give me more info. I don't even know if I can answer your question, Mina. Mina Liza. I'm assuming you got the receipt notice. Is that what you're talking about? So usually in the top section on the right side, it will say notice type, receipt, approval. I'm assuming you just got receipt. So that's just step one. You're at the very beginning, I'm assuming, if you're asking that question, because you haven't found, like, you haven't received the other ones, right? So I don't know what you applied for. Is it for marriage? Share some more info, please, and I want to make sure I point you in the right direction. But Lucas asked why the travel document doesn't come with the work permit anymore. That's actually a good thing. So they separate out the process. One of the reasons, from what we understand, immigration lawyers, is that because USCIS had the process together for the 131 advanced parole travel document and the 765 work permit, is that it slowed it down significantly. So they separated the process. That's for the better. Because the government doesn't know how to do multiple things at once, apparently. Emanuela, what should I do if MTR pending for 202 days? A service request did not receive any response. So if you're referring to USCIS, it's not going to get you anywhere. If you file the 290B, there is no website, the web page on there. There's the drop down menu to pick which form. 290B is not there. And I believe, just speculation, is that they don't want to be held accountable to when to reply back to you. Okay. So hopefully that helps with some context. I can recall that we filed a 290B for employment-based case based on like a denial on a I-140 that we took over a case. And yeah, we got it back in 3 years, roughly. They reversed the decision. That's great. But it took 3 years. It's ridiculous. So 202 days for you. Depending what case you filed in Manuela, you may want to consider refiling. Because timing means a lot, right? Like if you, it's good that you preserve your whatever reason they denied it on. It's good that you preserved it, but when you file a 290B, okay, I-140, yeah, then you probably want to stick with the I-140. It was family-based case. It's easier to suggest refiling, but I-140, you may need to speak with your deny with mistakes. Well, yeah, and timing is everything to preserve for employment-based situations. So, yeah, plus the I-140, assuming you have to go through labor certification, you have to use the I-140 or file I-140 based on that. So, shoot, I wish you all the best on that. Okay, that's my general advice. I can't call what I'm sharing with you advice. It has to be this is what I'm sharing, legal information. If you want advice for your specific situation, I highly encourage you to take advantage of the strategy session that we offer for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Again, if you want more time, we do charge money for that, but we're not so much concerned about that. We just want to be able to point you in the right direction, okay? Imran, what's going on? Your prior comment said, for the second time, USCIS is saying 1 week on your status. What can you assume? Unfortunately, you have to assume just based on your comment, because we can't see that. That's all internal on your side. If you're still on, Imran, yeah, when I've called into USCIS, it just for other situations, and I asked them about the case status, estimated timing, they say they feel bad. It's totally incorrect. But yours 485 right now. So you usually when it's AOS, adjustment of status for residency, and we filed everything here in the States, like to begin with, like if your spouse was here in the United States to begin with, then it's taking 3 to 5 months. But when it's based on like some other situation like fiance visa, they tend to take longer. I don't know why. It's ridiculous. They should just keep everything fast. Okay. Oh, okay. You did file another one that was immediately approved. So what gives, right? Oh, mistakes. Well, sounds like mistakes on. Well, hopefully you can use the new one, the newly approved one. But I don't know your situation. Good luck to you, Miss Superman. Miss Superman. How long will it take to process currently? I don't know what you filed. Can you share more information? What did you file? What stage you're at right now? Sorry, Instagram folks. Oh, you're getting a second time. You're getting a message on your I-130. How long can you wait for your decision? Yeah, so if you only file petition only, I'm talking to respondent Imran right now. If you only file petition, then generally it's gonna take like a full year, unfortunately, 12 months. Okay, so I would not expect a decision in 1 week from now, unfortunately. That's very unfortunate. You want to file 45 to Miss Superman. You want to file 245. So you have not filed it at all? You have not filed it? Because it sounded like you did file it before. And shout out to Maria. Thank you so much for pinning comments here. Help us out. Unfortunately, it's only allowed on one platform. Let's see. Okay, I'm like I'm like swiveling my head like it's like back in football, like just making sure I cover everything. Chernor, please help on your case. If I recall correctly, you have like a documentary qualified situation. You've been waiting on that, so give us a call, okay? Give us a call, Chernor, because I know you've been waiting a long time. Let's talk about it. And by the way, when you have a scheduled strategy session with our team, please know by default it's not me. I have a lot of things to do in my job, okay, as basically the leader of the team, right? The main leader of the team. So I've got a lot of departments to run. So, but if you want specifically for me, my team told me I have to charge for my time on a strategy session. And unfortunately, because of TikTok, I'm not allowed to share what it is. But if you go to greencardguys.com, you can see it. By the way, folks, if you appreciate how we share information, I usually try to go even faster than how I'm speaking now. But I just want to see, just trying to slow it down a bit for you guys. Miss Superman, not yet. You have not filed it, but you want to know how long it'll take. So, is this based on marriage or something else? If it's based on marriage and your spouse is here in the United States, then it's average 3 to 5 months. But we're coming to the end of 2023, right? We got a month and almost 2 months left. Who knows what's going to happen in 2024? It's not to say that the administration will change things next year, but usually like any company, you would think that if there's like an annual meeting that they don't try to change what they're doing right now. Uh, oh shoot, I missed it. 9/11 gets ambulance. Okay, DV was over today at 12 p.m. Eastern. See, thanks for updating me. See, I don't handle DV visas. 12 p.m. See how the government doesn't provide accurate information, because I don't see that anywhere here. There's like multiple pages of information to look at, right? So I'm sure it says it somewhere. Okay, here it is. 12 noon Eastern time. All right. Well, I missed it. Thanks, 9/11 gets ambulance. All right, let's back to answer your question. Tony, what's going on? Thanks. Yeah, hopefully not. Go Rangers. Let's see here. Donna, you're welcome, Imran. Donna asks, how does motion termination and proceeding takes? There's no set timing. Number one, it depends on the judges, but there's just a lot of cases they have even actively going on right now is what we call, I guess you call it like actively scheduled. So it'd be great if that has a situation where there's like at least one judge. It could be for better or worse, but just one judge that like focuses only on making a decision on certain situations. But unfortunately, they have to look, even when they finally get to look at your motion, they have to look at the file, right? They have to look at the case notes from, especially if your case has been going on for a long time. So I would, but what we do with our team is that we follow up usually every 2 to 3 weeks with the court. We call the court clerk to check, because again, it's like, it's not it's not like Domino's Pizza or any other pizza company that not sponsored by Domino's, but it'd be great if you work for them. Let me know, hook me up. But they have really good Domino's pizza tracker. Like you will know exactly when the next step will happen. But with the government and with the court system, they don't have that. Oh, the judge retired last year. Oh, that's okay. Don't think that's a bad thing. Um, Sometimes in our cases that could be a good thing, but um, because I would think during this administration, the newer judges, they are a little bit more open, I guess you can say. without sharing political views and things like that. Um, but yeah, it's fair to call in once a week. I would say I'm sorry, once a month to just check on like a courtesy check, basically, because they're not going to tell you, hey, your motion is on deck, basically. Yeah, attorneys can kind of do that if it's an emergency, but yours is not an emergency situation. Emergency would be like if the court case is like tomorrow or in a couple days. Christian, Feza, do you suggest filing 485, 765, 864 online or by mail? It is only allowed by mail. You only have one option. You can file 765 only if it's based on DACA or TPS, but yours family based, you have to do it by mail. Okay. To be honest, it's most of us attorneys don't like the online system because like we fill out everything, right? Our team fills it out. It automatically, like, we have to send you a code so that you log in, and then like if you have something to change, I think you can change on your side, but it's a lot back and forth potentially. Whereas I don't know, by email it's sometimes faster. I know it's weird, or we use Dropbox to share documents. How many and what kind of photos should you submit? A great question. Our rule of thumb is 10. Okay. Don't share too much information. Don't share too many photos. They don't want a photo album because really in reality, photos alone is not really what's going to help your case. They're helpful, but it's like what we call cumulative. It's just not necessarily one type of document that's going to help you. All right. But please make sure that it's not just 10 photos from like one or two different scenarios, like at your wedding ceremony, right? Just have a mix of different scenarios, like settings, like as if it was okay. So, how long, Christian, on Instagram? How long after combo card is approved does AOS get approved NBC office? It's just generally if it's a marriage case, it's generally like 3 to 5 months if you filed everything from the United States, meaning all the forms and your spouse is in America. By the way, I want to take a moment real quick as a plug for our pro bono services. Is that if you know someone who is stuck in Gaza and they're not able to be put on a list to cross the border into Egypt or just get the heck out of Gaza, let us know. Contact us. We've been trying to share this on our weekly news on YouTube, at least, and on Instagram. There is a way to get on a list, but some reports the last couple of days is that they're not doing the list anymore. But I could be wrong. It's ridiculous. I know it sounds ridiculous that they even have a list, a daily list. Um, but I think they're trying to avoid something that happened in Afghanistan, right? Like it's a rush, and plus they have to coordinate with Egypt and Palestinian authorities. But yeah, if you know anyone in that situation, let us know. I've been helping out with a nonprofit Arab American organization on helping their members or their community to file a lawsuit. But really, ultimately, media attention is very helpful. So if you know anyone in the media, please share the information so that I can contact them because we do need media attention on this issue. U.S. citizens stuck in Gaza and also residents, of course. Okay, Donna, is there a site where we track it? No, unfortunately, I wish. That would be nice. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Nazar? You got a question for me? Okay, I don't think I missed anyone else on YouTube. All right. All right, back to TikTok. What's going on? What's good? Mick, you got a I-130 approved 40 days ago. 485 is still pending. Marriage based concurrent filing. Okay, great. That's good to hear. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes petition gets approved first. But that's really so just keep in mind I-130 is based on marriage relationship in the sense that USCIS just wants to make sure that you're number one legally married. It's not I-130 is not so much about the bona fide like photos, shared bank account, things like that. But Like if you've been divorced, if you've been married before, the USCIS wants to make sure you were divorced, or if you got married in a certain location to make sure that it was correctly done, um, in like identity for identity purposes too. Um, okay, Nazar, you want to file a waiver? I think you mean I-601. Yeah, contact us if you need help. Okay, point you in the right direction. We do offer services for waivers, but we need to know more about your situation. Is it possible for you to petition your sister here in the US? Okay, yes, it is possible to petition your sister in the US if you are a US citizen. Okay, now keep in mind, you do have to know that this is the F4 category, and it takes a hell of a long time just across the world. It generally takes about 10 years for step number 1 and 2. Okay, because a visa bulletin, Department of State issues creates this bulletin every month. They publish it online on travel.state.gov, and they do. It's basically you need to check at least once a year, and I highly recommend, especially if you're the foreign national, the immigrant, you need to pay attention to this at least once a year until it gets closer to your priority date. Then I would check every month, and sometimes it doesn't even change to a new month to show progress. Sometimes it goes backwards, but that tends to be like around September, October every year because of the fiscal limitation. All right. Well, hopefully that helps. Chinor, you said you called the embassy. Okay, your situation is about delay on being interviewed, I believe. Okay, and you did contact NBC, and they said they're waiting on U.S. Embassy for visa availability to schedule appointment. This is very embarrassing. Yeah, it's very frustrating, but I do remember I thought yours was DQ'd. Okay, DQ, but it is not ready for bulletin. I thought we looked at it and I shared on YouTube that you were that your visa was ready in that sense. Right. So this is a concern that some people have been asking, well, how come my sibling got scheduled interview and got the visa, but I'm still waiting, right? So generally, the law requires that they wait. The embassy waits to schedule. It doesn't say, hey, you have to wait until interview or wait until the visa shows up in terms of priority date on the visa bulletin. But sometimes they do get scheduled for interview before the priority date shows up. Okay, it may just depend on that month, depending how many, if they don't have as many people to be interviewed. But so it can be frustrating that you might hear about other people that should be waiting still, like you, but they got very fortunate. Okay, but technically you're supposed to. They can't. There's sometimes no point to be scheduled for an interview until the visa priority date shows up for you on the visa bulletin for you. But I mean, that's just government perspective. But I mean, if you can get something accomplished sooner than later, then that's good. All right, so Jasmine on Instagram. What's going on? Um, if I had like balloons in my hands or something, let's just pretend there's balloons. I'd be celebrating with you right now. We were just talking about your case with the team. Thank you so much. We have Jasmine on Instagram has shared some positive sentiments about our representation of your case. And if I recall, it was pretty quick, right? It was fairly quick, quicker than most people expect. And by the way, I hope that you're okay if I share this, but she shared a Google review that that you had considered. I think you hired other lawyers before, and something happened. Like they didn't work out for some reason. I don't know if you're willing to share on here, but on Instagram at least. But I actually wonder. I can't remember like what happened with the previous case. I don't think you filed one, but maybe that's the issue. Like they were freaking slow. I hear that a lot, unfortunately. So that's why there's a good time for me to mention that. So Jasmine, if you don't mind, I'd like to give you a call. I don't know today, maybe tomorrow. Get your feedback on that. But there's a good time to mention we do offer 3 service plans, and it's mostly based on timing to file your application, your package with the evidence. Now, Max Plan is to file your case in 30 days. Pro Plan is to file your case in 60 days. and the light plan is file your case in 90 days. Now, some people ask me, well, John, if we select the pro plan, does that mean you're literally going to hold up the case um, for 60 days? No, it's just to provide better expectation, because I know everyone's in a hurry to get your legal status, your green card, citizenship, or temporary work visa. But it helps our team manage expectations internally, but also with clients. But as soon as we get certain information from you, all that we need based on a proven checklist, we're not going to hold up the timing to file. We just usually need at least 72 hours, 3 days to review everything, conduct our due diligence, because we might need extra information than we originally anticipated. All right, now to the question. Oh, Jasmine, you hired other lawyers in Cali and lost money. Sorry to hear that. But if you don't mind, I'll give you a call today or tomorrow. Appreciate it. Get some more feedback. But yeah, Jasmine's lives in California, and she is a great example of that. We do accept clients, help clients that live in different states or different countries. You don't actually have to be, even though we do have an office physically in Houston. Y'all come hang out if you ever in the area. We can go out to eat. Just give me a little heads up so I can tell my wife and kids. But there's a lot of great food here. But joking aside, we do have an office here in Houston. But we know at the end of the day, we do offer, using all these different platforms. Of course, we have meetings with clients by video. You don't have to show your face. You can close the camera. It's all good. But that allows us to get to know you better and help you with your case, of course. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jasmine. You need help with your mom's case too. Okay, good. Gravy. Okay, so I'm trying to talk like I'm a Cali person. I'm just making assumptions here. Sorry. Can a migrant person who lives in the U.S. for 10 years, can they apply for permanent visa? So they can, but usually it's not called permanent. Well, it's not really called permanent visa. A permanent visa, I guess, would be what we call a resident status. Okay, resident status, and okay, so they overstayed. So typically, the way you phrased your question, then I'm inferring that that person entered without a visa. So people still can obtain resident status without entering the United States with a visa. So basically, entered U.S. without a visa. Did I say that correctly? Anyway, but typically, if it's based like on a U.S. citizen spouse, then you don't have to you still need to get a waiver, for example. But if you enter with a visa, then you don't need to get a waiver for unlawful presence. Okay, hopefully that was a quick and short version of the answer or answer your question there. Is it okay for an immigrant to get married to an asylum green card holder? Okay. Yes, but please know this. Regardless of how your spouse or your fiance obtained residency, okay, the preferred situation is that your family member sponsor, becomes a U.S. citizen. And the main reason why is that because assuming Princess, I don't know if it's you're talking about yourself, but let's just hypothetically assume it's your friend. If your friend who's the immigrant enter without a visa, then your spouse who is a resident, it doesn't matter if they become a citizen for the purpose of your friend's case. However, if you entered with a visa and your spouse is a resident who files for you, they can file for you now, but ultimately for the 485 application, they're going to send you an RFE and say, show us proof that you maintain status. So that's where it's really important that your spouse becomes a U.S. citizen, applies for it, even if it's after you filed the I-130. But some people file the I-130 now when the sponsor is a resident because the resident spouse is not eligible to become a citizen quite yet, almost. But hopefully that helps. Your jobless H-1B husband abusing you and your daughter mentally. I'm sorry to hear that. And verbally and emotionally help you. Okay, Ginger. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm actually a board advisor for a DAYA in Houston, DAYA. So if you need contacts like nonprofits that offer social services agent like an agency, point you in the right direction to offer services for you, let me know. Send us a DM on your respective platform. For you right now, action plan is H4. I'm sorry, not H4, but there is a situation where you can apply for a work visa that's because of abuse. Okay, it's to kind of cover the gap essentially in the meantime, but that's only allowed if your spouse maintains H1B. Okay, which presumably your spouse will. Let's see. Okay, a lot of great questions. I think I can only stay on for like two more questions. Thanks so much for your time. Lucas, real quick for you. No, because two illegal entries means permanent bar. But permanent bar does not mean that person cannot get legal status, but it does require that person to be outside the United States for 10 years, and then the sponsor can file for that person, Okay. GA on TikTok. I-360 approved as a religious worker. You can't adjust right now. You know when the EB4 would be current. So it also is not, it depends on your priority date on the visa bulletin. So yeah, EB4, you have to check that category. Let me see if I can find it here on, at least for those folks on YouTube. But if and Facebook, but if you are not familiar with the visa bulletin, you got to get to know it. We do have a video about it on YouTube if you want us to try to find it. You probably type in visa bulletin. I don't know how YouTube search works. Hopefully it's easy for you, but you need to check that. Okay, so let me just check it real quick. So the updated one right now on the visa bulletin is, let's see, did you share your priority date on here? Okay, well, we need a prior date, but looking at the employment based real quick on YouTube and Facebook. So final action date for EB4. Yeah, for all other countries other than China, India, Mexico, Philippines, they're working on prior dates for January 2019. Ooh, 4 years-ish. 4 years and change. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry to hear that. Okay, but that's what I see right now. That's for chart A. Now for other things, so I don't know if you're yeah, and even chart B, chart A is for two different scenarios, but chart B is typically for, if you need to update documents, things like that. If you're in the US, if you're in the United States right now, you have like R1 visa right now, then hopefully you can maintain a status all the way through. Then you can file based on chart B. Now, it's frustrating but I would say because USCIS can change and say, oh, we're not going to rely on chart A. So they do update it typically every month. But right now, the past year, they've been following chart B at least. Okay. So hopefully that helps, folks. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for your trust. I'm back on IG. Sorry for y'all. Sorry for missing y'all. Hope y'all having a good day. And today is Tuesday, so I'll be back on tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Take care now. Peace.